Could be the way to do it.
Could be. It's a heavy investment though for Weaver to get to that point.
Sure.
You can get it done. There's a lot of pressure in the support stand to really try to win out this early game, try to force out a lot of control with her straightforward stuns, with her pretty basic but good kit. Like Ogre Magic can just stand in front, ignite spam, kind of win out. It's just I worry about them expecting that when TNC gets the Tim's Mirana and Whitemon Enchantress. Just such solid supports for them to play with. We've already seen Whitemon, of course, cause issues. Mirana, Tim's can really just rotate when he wants. You've got this combo with a Void Spirit. Remnant into Arrow, just really solid way of getting that done. Cignal Ultra, I'm not sure what to expect. Like, the Weaver can play fast, but I think you're looking for a mid laner now that is very, very sacrificial. Just to buy the Spectre space, something that just gets online in a snap. The Spirit Brothers are kind of still there. Like the Ember Spirit against Void Spirit sounds like a decent lane to hold out against if James C wants to go do that against Armel. I'm not sure. The Spectre pick again just does not instill confidence in me. Like you can clear Ancients with Blade Mail, you can clear stacks. It doesn't feel like the hero does anything if you don't draft around it.
The big problem the big
Mhm.
problem I'm seeing here with Cignal Ultra is they have no team fight.
Yeah.
Literally none. You've got single target focus, but that's it. Like there's no crowd control. There's no big ultimate to hold everyone down. I would say though that this could be a very, very good game for a mid puck here from Cignal Ultra if they wanted to go for that, because you have a way to hold down the Void Spirit and the Faceless Void, both of which don't really like the silence nor the Dream Coil of the puck.
Yep.
I think that's one of their only plays here for Cignal Ultra. And it's banned out. So, just got banned by TNC. I don't know what else you pick here for the mid lane for Cignal to really bring this draft around.
Yeah, it's a tricky last pick for Cignal.
10 seconds.
Man, I know. I thought of the OD, but I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do Spectre OD again? With a Weaver as well. That's terrible. I just don't see any mid that can really throw its body out enough. Maybe a Kunkka on the side of Cignal Ultra. Lanes against Void Spirit, okay. You've got the X to catch the Void, both to stall out fights. And you combine that with a potential Weaver Ags, you can really stall out those fights for a very long time. I guess that's an opportunity. No, but it's also banned out. So TNC knows what they don't want to play again.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious what Cignal Ultra's lacking right now. It's see what they choose.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Okay, so they go for the Queen of Pain, but that's all that's doing is adding on more damage. You are still lacking a lot of control. So they could definitely blow someone up. We can all agree with that. But apart from that, you're going to have a silence with an Orchid pickup on the quad, but that's it. I don't like this at all from Cignal Ultra. I think it's a pretty lackluster draft, if I'm honest.
Yeah. It's down to that Weaver offlane. I think it just doesn't do what you want from the offlane. We expect offlaners to be sort of the second playmaker, right? You come in, you get the control off, you dictate to your team, hey guys, we need to go in, I'm strong. Weaver doesn't quite do that. I mean, he can say he's strong, but he needs follow-up from someone else, and there is no one else. So I think they've got to line up. It's so much pressure on the Ogre Magi and Venge. It's literally down to them to identify targets, to walk up, throw their bodies in front, at least get a stun off, and pray their cores in position to find a burst. If they can, you trade a support for a core kill, you're going to be happy for Cignal. But if they can't, then you can't really fault them. TNC close out with the Lina, and it leaves it up in the air as to, it's our Armel, Lina, KP, Void Spirit off. So it would have been a bad lane for the Void Spirit mid against Quap, but with the Lina up against Quap, that is so much better for Armel to manage. Gives them burst, plays with the Faceless Void Chrono. Lacoste would be hating this last pick, Lina, but I think in this case, it's pretty nice.
It is really nice, John, and I can tell you why as well, right? Because not only is everything you just mentioned, but the fact is, Armel just doesn't... all Armel needs to do is not lose this mid lane, right? Like, Jamesy needs to play such a high-tempo style of quap for this draft to work. The Armel, he just needs to just even out the lane, and I would argue TNC's already won. I can't imagine them losing if Jamesy doesn't completely destroy that mid lane.
Yeah.
Like,
The
Jamesy
pressure's on
has
him
to
to set it.
destroy the mid lane. He has to destroy it.
Absolutely does. Now, there is a role swap out here, Mike. It's a Venge tree with a Weaver 4. Honestly, that doesn't change things for my standings.
No.
It's still the same issues. It's not like there's a significant farming differential between a Venge tree and a Venge 4, or a Weaver tree and a Weaver 4. When you toss them in those positions, they don't squeeze out as much as you'd want. We'll see if they can maximize that minus armor strat, though. That was a pretty sick set coming out in Van. That's a pretty good looking set, so there's that. But look at that combo in Armel. He's got the Arcana plus that nice fiery set on top. It actually looks pretty sick. I think you've been talking about that combo, right? Like the fact that the Lena Arcana can actually look pretty darn good with the right items, and looks like Armel invested.
I do like it with the I do like the set he's got on right now, but what is
8
it?
to the bat. Wait, what? 8 to the bat. A bat.
Oh, White Mon. He's always starting trouble, White Mon.
I can imagine him singing right now, Mike. That's what he's doing. He's that cheerful right now. And KP, good luck, mga ano, KP?
What does that mean, John?
That's good luck, mga means like good luck to you blank. You know, it's like a modifier. It means you need to put a noun after. So Abat says guapa. Good luck, mga guapa, which means good luck to the handsome boys. Abat just praising himself a bit. Lifting spirits up.
Good to see, good to see. I'm sure that they're very handsome over at Cignal Ultra. We can't doubt that part. What we can doubt, though, is whether this draft is going to work, John. And we've done plenty of doubting for Cignal Ultra already. But maybe they prove us wrong here. And I would be pretty upset if they did, because, you know, we'd look pretty damn stupid after talking that much crap. So,
for sure.
I mean, you never know, though. Like, you know, you do tend to miss some things, but I don't see it. I don't see it with this draft at all.
No. I think if you can pull some magic off with Van's lane, it's just off-lane Venge against Faces Void. Again, you can kind of harass. Time Walk level 1 is atrociously slow. So you can maybe trade a right-click blows, force him to Time Walk early, catch him out in an awkward spot. Level 3 is a good spike for Van and Eris, if Eris can somehow get the levels up. And I like how Eris is starting out in this lane. Blightstone up. Probably going to see the level 1 wave of terror from Van, so when you do trade, it is going to be painful enough for Gabby. But again, he can play with Time Walk, and they're going to drag Whitemon in to just start and kind of even it out a bit.
Yeah. Whitemon did actually quite a bit of damage down at that bot lane towards the Spectre just before he TPs out, and I do like the fact that these position 5s are starting in the opposite lane just to be able to really get some damage off onto the POS 1. They do actually get the courier of Eris as well. Eris just kind of being too far forward with that courier and does end up giving it away to the side of TNC. Gonna be a very nice start here for Gabby. Of course, over in the mid lane, John, Mel and James are going to be up against each other. Can't really imagine either one dying per se, but if you do get caught by the LSA, you just never really know, I suppose. And bot lane KB was in a bit of danger as well on the Void Spirit, but he is going to be allowed to salve off.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you can get done, at least here for Cignal down bot. Grims is tanky enough in the front line. Void Spirit is a fairly squishy hero, so you're going to have to watch your positioning up against the Ogre Magi. And Grims throw the body out.
Eris, he got greedy, John. He wanted Whitemon's first blood. He is going to give it away to Gabby instead.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
A lot of committal. And that's something you get as a Weaver support sometimes. You feel so strong, just zip around. You got to tone back the aggression a bit. Again, we're waiting for level 3 spikes here. Van is not going to back you up until he hits that point.
No, he is not. And would you believe it, John? While that was happening, Tim's got the courier of the Spectre. So, Abat loses his courier once again.
Yep. He always aims for like 3 couriers by 4 minutes, Tim's. And he always gets it. That's a crazy part.
The funniest thing is he always uses the same ward. It's always the same position, and somehow the enemy never seems to spot it out. So,
yeah.
it's a very good ward if you are able to get those couriers. And Armel almost picking off Jamesy, but top lane it looks like Whitemon does finally go down, but Gabby is going to be able to trade and pick off Eris. He gets the solo XP and gets the gold for himself. You'd have to argue that's good news for TNC.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice for Van to kind of build up, but you're keeping the support Weaver down. Gabby might be missing a couple of creeps, but finding 2 kills already at the 3-minute mark for Faces Void is pretty remarkable. And you want to get a little bit more here for your Cignal. You do not want to trade away that pesky cockroach that zips around, and I don't know if Eris is going to be satisfied. They do have level 3 on Van, but Gabby's got level 4, and he's got that time dilation to slow down any jumps in now from Cignal. So it's trickier for them to commit.
Another thing we've been seeing a lot, these Voids going for time dilation early on, and it really is so influential. Such a broken ability. Nobody really realized how broken it was until we started seeing it in the pro scene. Now you just see it everywhere. Hot lane KB, they were trying to focus him down on this Void Spirit. Meanwhile, Armel does get Jamesy. Was that an arrow from Tim's, John, or did he just... No, it wasn't. He literally just got him by himself.
Yep, that's not good news. We talked about this mid lane matchup, right? The only thing Armel had to do is not lose, but he's actually winning hard, and the Quap is not having a good time. Jamesy 14-3. Needs to find something. They do catch Whitemon top though, but his Centaur.
Beautiful stun. Whitemon, great with the micro, and they're going to turn back around onto Eris. Gabby gets a time dilation. Eris will go for the Sakuchi out. Gabby, he has a time walk. He's going to commit it. Magic Missile is there, but they don't have the damage output. Gabby, he almost dies, but it is not close enough, and he's going to get a salve off of Whitemon. And that'll be the 3rd kill of the game already for the POS1 Void. Extremely bad news if you are Cignal Ultra.
Definitely are. It's almost a similar start to game 1. 1-4. 1k lead for TNC is not amazing, but again, this lineup of Cignal needs to get off to a running start. KP is kind of slowing down bot, but they're making moves on Grims.
Yeah, KP with a nice Aether Remnant setup, and Grims cannot run away from that. So let's throw out a Spectral Dagger onto KB, but he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, Whitemon does die to Van, so they do get something for their trouble. It's just not really going to be what they want. Yeah, Whitemon, he's happy to die, John. He's an Enchantress.
Yeah. It's just space being built up here for the Faces Void. He doesn't copy tank. He does, and you know, it's all just lining up. You can see the rotations coming out here as well. Camping mid. They've already got teams around, although they might be able to go for a fight over that next set of power runes. What is that timing on the Midas? Sub 6 minutes for Gabby.
Jeez. Alright, 5-minute Midas out for Gabby. That is why you don't want to give 3 kills away during the laning stage, John. And he has Chrono, by the way. He will commit it. Whitemon's going to come in. They'll aim down the POS 3 Venge, and they will get it. Gabby does not have the Time Walk, though, so he will die. And Whitemon's going to try and man-fight Eris. Doesn't get away with it, though. He does die, but now the Tomato Creep is following down Eris. He does get the kill. A complete wipe up at that top lane. And I guess they do kill off the Void, so... You get a bit of extra gold here up in this top lane for Cignal Ultra. Gabby did use his Midas before he died anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much.
No, yeah, I think Gabby's still perfectly happy. Got a moderately successful first Chrono. I think he was just itching to use that, and that does kind of give him room here. Van, what do you do now as a Venge? Like, yeah, you have maxed out, well, not maxed, but level 3 Vengeansor up at 5. Swap is not necessarily going to give you kill opportunities. They do have levels up on Eris, so level 5 in the Weaver. They've been really good at distributing that EXP to the support Weaver, and that does kind of set them up here. What I am curious about is a bot. He is going for that Blade Mail build as per usual. Farm is looking decent, is trailing behind Van, 600 gold behind, and Van is going to continuously be behind because of this Midas pickup from Gabby.
Trying to get some tier 1 tower damage up at this top lane to buy a bit of space here for the Spectre. The Whitemon going to be the only one around to try and defend that. Instead, the rest of TNC will of course go ahead and trade the bottom tier 1 tower, and Well, Grims is around the corner there on the Ogre, but KP might just find him out. Maybe not. Just focus down the tier 1 for now. Grims is not going anywhere anytime soon anyway. Meanwhile, top lane, Whiteman does get caught out. So they do get the Enchantress, but now KP may have realized. Doesn't look like he has. Korea. It's going to go the long way around, and Grims is somehow going to be okay. They aren't going to check the tree line.
Yeah, that's I guess that's one way to really sneak around, right? Just stand still. They managed to sneak through. Even tower trade in the end, slightly better for Cignal if they find that pickoff, but it's still a 2k lead here for TNC, although they might catch one out.
Yeah, Whitemon is in trouble again though. Looks like he'll run away as Grims. He's also going to run away. They almost got him, but the Aether Remnant did not land by the looks of it from KP. Where is Gabby now, by the way? There he is. In the mid lane, looking to make a play with his Chrono. Goes in, catches both of them as well, right underneath the Sentry Ward. And with the Aether Remnant, they lock down Eris. Van's going to get chased down. He throws out the Magic Missile, but it just doesn't matter.
That is really not nice.
If this is happening now with the draft, what's going to happen in 10 minutes?
Even worse things, Mike. It's not lining up. I don't know what they really expect their timings to be now. Jamesy, I'm looking at the Quap mid, and we talked about the Quap having to play setup here with his supports, getting the burst off. There are no items in James. He is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in that fort, 3.5. And it's just not a good look, and now Armel.
I mean, they could try to gank him. Tim's is going to be there to break the smoke, though. They won't get away with it. Tim's just going to run away. Has 3 leap charges. They swap him. He'll just leap. And we have a pause.
Oh,
that was just Grims just, you know, like, what are we doing, guys? Oh, pause again. All right. Conversation's not over yet.
Yep, lag. All right. It's fair. It happens. Southeast Asia.
That's, you know, what are you going to do here? I'm really confused as to what the game plan is. Tim's okay, they swap him back. They swap him back. Magic Missile is there, and they do get him. Very nice.
That works out in the end. They did waste both swap charges, so that's going to be 70 seconds for the refill. That's a pretty long restore.
Well, they found Whitemon as well. Very nice. Whitemon should drop here, and Kuchi will do it. Gabby is going to come in. Might get a bit of a trade as he does get the time dilation. Does still get the time lapse off, and I'm not sure why he's chosen that line to spam today. But continues to remind us, John, that he does have a mace, and mid lane, Jamesy blinked into an LSA. Be okay. Tim's run around, doesn't spawn out Van, just behind the tree line.
Ooh, I love that as well. Whitemon came in with like force feeding 2 mangoes down Armel, just to ensure that they'd have mana. Gotta love Whitemon's playstyle. It's so, you know, supporty. So sacrificial. Like, my poor is hungry. I've got mangoes for you. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Armel already had a clarity going anyway. Just decided, screw the clarities. Have some mangoes.
You know, this time stalled out is beneficial for a bot. He's been left alone. I believe his blade mail is flying in. So our Spectre blade mail is going to be up and running. That should help accelerate the farm. There is a smoke from TNC. They know they've left a part of the map gone, and that's a beautiful scan coming out.
Gonna break the smoke. Armel will run the other way, knowing a bat is coming, and now the Moonlight Shadow is out, but it doesn't matter. They got the Yules off in time with the LSA and the Laguna, and here comes KB to hold him down even further, though nice Sonic Wave is out, killing off Armel, and they do also get Tim's. KB used his Astral Steps, and it looks like it was a bit of a trap. Uh-oh. Cignal Ultra. Ooh. They get a double on Jamesy.
Yep, that's a big trade. Does drag that lead down to 1k. They were really twacking away on a bot when he had his blade mail active. That just hurts. They're not tanky enough to pierce through, and they just find the big kills. 3 for 1. You're going to be dancing your way to victory there for Cignal as they kind of force the issue down mid. Fortify is around though, and TNC might not be too upset. Gabby does have Chrono, does have a Mask of Madness, and a Midas at 12 minutes. So 2 farming tools, but you've got a lot of attack speed now in Gabby, and if they want to fight, it's going to be big.
KP jumps in straight after Van. Gabby wasn't there yet, coming in now. Again, does have the Chrono available, but there's your Horn coming in. Still, James, you're going to be focused down here by Gabby. Whitemon has also died on the chance to put a nice Chrono out, catching 2 of them. He will get the co-op into Grims on the Ogre, who will also die fairly quick, and now Abat has been left alone. LSA is going to land. There's your Laguna. And Eris is the only one left. And Eris, I'm not sure where you're trying to go, sir, but it looks like it's going to be straight down unless the LSA misses like that. Again, mistimed. KP. LSA not going to land again. Does get the 8th remnant though from KP, but Eris will time lapse. Gabby, meanwhile, will kill off Van as Eris is still chasing Armel, but he's going to be alright. And now Eris still managed to run away. So it looked really dangerous there from our Weaver. He makes it out, however.
Yep, right on the edge, and KP is well on the edge. He doesn't clear like 80 HP, but in the end, TNC turned it around. It's that timing, right? They had Chrono and Gabby. Ooh.
You're right. I love the post-fight analysis, or whatever you want to call it, the recap. Apparently, Cignal Ultra made a total of 2 gold after that fight, John.
Worth. Definitely worth. Like, that's how you
gold.
turn it. Massive. Massive swing.
We did see the problem in that team fight, right? They just didn't have any fight. Like, there's no control. There's nothing.
They felt confident after taking out Tree, but they had to remember Gabby had Chrono. Like, they've won that fight, but Gabby didn't have Chrono. The Blade Mail was also a surprise for them. So now that they're aware a bot has the Blade Mail, they're going to be tempering out when they hit. They see the active, they pull back a bit, reset, come back in when it's down, and they maintain that 2k lead. TNC, I'm looking at Gabby, is saving up for a straight BKB rush. Going to be massively helpful to survive through to, not even care about the control here from the side of Cignal Ultra. I'm looking at Jamesy on Signal's side. The Orchid still has to come out. Still waiting for the recipe, so 400 gold away. Once you have that, you might be able to have a window where Gabby's going to be very vulnerable. That's going to be important for them to find those kills and start to snowball a bit, get some space out for a bot, and try to build up by those single target pickoffs.
Oh, time-lapse forced now, but Armel was waiting in the exact spot. Unfortunate for Eris on the Weaver. It's going to be another kill out for our Lena Armel. Keep this farm up. 3k net worth lead now. Grim's going to get spotted here by Whitemon. KB going to happily join in to try and just take this kill on the Ogre. We'll dance a little bit before he takes it.
Your cause meets my effect.
Well, at least they have the Orchid up now on Jamesy. So, like you said, Gabby might be a little bit afraid for a couple minutes.
Yeah. We'll see if Jamesy can reveal it in a big way. I would say he needs backup, though, to get that instant burst, but might just go for what he can get, and Armel would be juicy.
Tims gets spotted. Port is out. Mel gonna go after the Quab, gets him with the Laguna as well, and he has the damage. Gabby was TPing in to try and help out, but it wasn't required, and now Gabby, he'll go into the mid lane with this Chrono.
That's just ill-timed.
AB jumps in onto Van. Gabby has Chrono, but definitely doesn't need it here, surely. Just gets the bashes off. Van is actually pretty tanky here. Grims also going down to Armel, and look who showed his face. Eris getting stunned up as well. Armel, he found him. The time lapse, and he does actually get Whitemon on the way out. Tims, arrow, not going to land. Eris still trying to make a run for it, and it looks like he is going to make it out. But you just see the confidence from TNC. Like, they're all jumping in one by one. Not really afraid of anything.
They have no reason to be afraid. They know they've got the lineup that can really dance around. Spectre TP, though.
Eris gonna avoid the Aether Remnant. Gabby gonna get a pash onto Eris' first hit. Goes back in, gets the Chrono off, into the Queen of Pain. Arrow gonna kill off the Weaver. A nice swap out for Van, but it is not really gonna help his cause too much unless a great Sonic Wave out onto 5 heroes. But again, where's the follow-up? Van's gonna go down. Abat's charging in with a Blade Mail, but nobody's hitting him. They just ignore him, and now the arrow comes out. He's just stuck there. Again, Gabby telling them about his mace. Nobody cares. He's going to time walk away. Meanwhile, Armel, Lagunaing Jamesy in the back lines. There's 3 down for the price of 1 KB.
Doesn't it? That wasn't.
Ignite, going to connect. Tim's leaped a bit too far forward. Does end up going down. It's a 3-for-2 trade in the end. 4K net worth lead now for TNC.
It's really not lining up good for Cignal. The angles are just not coming out. The entire thing broke out because they tried to reveal this Orchid on Lina, on Armel, but Armel already had a Shadow Blade, so the moment the Quap Orchid got popped in the top jungle, Armel just Shadow Blade and just walked away. There was nothing they could do, and this is causing issues now, is with that tool kind of expended, with TNC expecting the silence, there's no surprise factor. There's no way they can come in, get the instant burst. Jamesy's job is that much harder. You're not big enough yet in Abad. He's still saving up for that Manta style. And Cignal, I don't know what they want to do. Like, Van is saving up for a pipe on that off-lane Venge, so the aura play is being built up. We have seen Van be really tanky. Swap saves have been really good. But the escalation coming out for Gabby is about to happen. BKB is pretty much built up. Just needs to send it out, and he's rushing the MKB to fix those damage issues.
And once the MKBs out, just nobody's safe anymore. Such a broken item right now. This MKB, especially on the Void, it just isn't right. It's too strong. Even has Imcore, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, he had that in his previous Void game as well, so...
Yep.
just keeps getting those items. Very nice.
It's just really hard to fight in now, just with how much they've got. I mean, even KP, he's already got his Ags up in a Void Spirit, and he was off to a really slow start. But they've got that AoE silence with a Resonant Pulse twice over. So, defensive items need to come out here for Cignal, and TNC with these items, they do smoke up.
Chrono's up. Gabby gonna run into Grims. Gonna throw a stun out. Arrow is gonna connect, however. And just easy Ogre kill. Into the Roshan it is, it seems, for TNC. They do feel as though they can't be fought into, and I would agree with them.
Not while Chrono's up. There's just no angle here for the side of Cignal Ultra. They do have taunt, but they do scan it out as well, but it just falls way too fast for them to make any sort of play here on Cignal's side.
We go. They are making their way over, but Gabby is going to jump in, and they do kill off Van. Now into Eris. Haunt is going to come in. Abat again popping the Blade Mail, but nobody's hitting him. Jamesy, a nice Sonic Wave out on 2. Is it really going to matter? Not really. The Chrono's there. He needs to swap out. BKB up on Gabby. The Bashes come out as well, cancelling off the Blink. Abat now trying to run away. He has no Blade Mail to use. KB literally just going to TP out in front of them. Everyone's just getting out. Eris going into KP, but he's silenced up now. Another silence out from KP with the Aether Remnant. And Abat, he's going to try for this Roshan play. Buyback from Eris. Is he actually going to get away with this?
Get it?
He is going to get it. Okay. Now the swap in. Gabby has been stunned up. Swap back in, but here comes KP with the Astral Step and the double LSA out from Armel, trying to take down Van. He will be able to get him onto Abat, who gets arrowed up. Whitemon just distracting them. Gabby jumping back in. He might go down for this, or maybe not. They don't have the dust yet. Now they do, but he's time walked away. Eris going to follow him up. The Astral Spirit not really going to hold him down on the Weaver. They do end up killing off Gabby. Now into KP and TNC. What have you done?
It's quite the way to come back here for Cignal. They've still
no.
got a 2k deficit, but you know they've managed to win out. A bot making use of that. He literally just walked in and cleared it.
What is this?
That's the crazy part. He just walked right in, realized TNC retreated, and they suddenly had the numbers. It's just ridiculous. But a bot, that's the kind of stuff you want to see. They're not quite out of the woods yet, but it is just down to a 2k lead. We're seeing the build-up here for Abad into the Scotty, and that's going to help him survive a little bit more, get the damage out. This MKB needs to come out for Gabby. He's still having some slight damage issues here. And I think it's time for TNC to maybe take a step back, get the farm built up first, and come back in when at least that MKB's done on Gabby. The damage is just not consistent enough.
I suppose for Cignal, they are getting close to this Aghanim Scepter as well on Eris. And it seems as though there is some trouble with dealing with the bat. So if you give him 2 lives, it might be the way to win, I guess. I mean, they're holding out. It's not like TNC is completely wiping the floor with them or anything.
They've got big opportunities. That Axe is going to be so scary. He's just 1k away. And they've allowed Eris to get there, and we've been seeing the issues, right? TNC just can't chase down a Weaver all too well. Oh.
Man, looks like he's gonna be all right. Let's get away. Mind you, I've been saying this, but Gabby hasn't had the MKB up yet. He does have it now, so you haven't really had that big damage source for this Void. It is on the way. This is where you really start to see heroes melting on the side of Cignal Ultra.
He's sending out the MKB, but he doesn't have the Demon Edge yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Demon Edge yet.
Pretty slow for Gabby. It's slowing down. I think these fights have not worked out all too well. Gabby's lead over a bot has shrunk down to just about 1k, which is not significant anymore. They're trying to push down this bot tier 2. Their top 2-2 already fell earlier on. And Cignal just take control of that top jungle. It's a very safe spot for a bot to farm in. Eris to farm in. 300 gold away from the Ags. It's actually terrifying to have Ags Weaver with Spectre. I'm not sure if TNC is going to have enough durability to pierce through twice over on that spec unless they take out Eris first, but he is so slippery. They need an Atos or something to just get the stun out and the control out onto Eris.
That they do. Speaking of Eris, Armel is on the chase for him right now, but Eris is going to be able to Sakuchi out of there. KB actually killing off Grims by himself. Meanwhile, Whitemon being stalked here by this Weaver, but Eris is just going to hide for now. Does actually have the full amount of gold for that Axe, and he is going to go ahead and just pick it up at the fountain.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, this is scary.
Maybe this is it. The
it's
draft's online, right?
It definitely is. Blade Mail, Dispersion, 2 lives.
I don't know. I still don't believe in it.
I think it has the potency. I mean, the MKB is there, so maybe Gabby gets enough. The priority for TNC has to take out Eris. I think if you take out the Weaver first, then it will fall apart. It's all relying on the Weaver getting that spell out, and sometimes you just can't.
Let's see how this works out. Smoke up, so we're going to find out. TNC obviously aren't aware of this Axe yet, so they may be caught off guard. Cignal, this could be a great opportunity for them to try and really show this off, unless man gets caught out. They do time-lapse him now, so he will survive for a bit longer. Now Bat gonna haunt in with no mana basically. Meanwhile, the Quap is being chased down, but he does have a BKB up and will be able to get White, or rather Tims, but the Chrono is there. So the swap out, Jamesy is going to be alright. Gabby trying to focus down a Bat, but everyone's ignoring the Void right now. Instead, chasing down Armel, and it looks like it is indeed working. Armel is trying to run. Jamesy does eventually end up dying. Armel still trying to juke out the Spectre, now running past the tier 2 mid tower, but Eris should be able to Sakuchi after him. However, the rest of Cignal Ultra is currently dying while this is happening, so Armel is doing a great old job of creating space. And how is Armel this quick?
Oh,
Fiery Soul and Boots of Travel is making it so he can just run away from a Sakuchi'd Weaver. Now the Yule's up and he's actually going to get out of there.
Wanna play with fire?
oh, that was on the edge for TNC. They didn't manage to stall out in Cignal, but the execution fell flat. No mana on a bat really costed them. They didn't have the dagger to throw out. He just finished the Scotty. Now would have been the perfect time to fight, but didn't line up there. So Cignal missing a window. We will see still if this Ags is going to help. It did help stall out and keep Van alive, but that's not really the target you want to keep alive. And TNC seem to realize what they have to do. They just completely ignore a bot. Not only do they ignore him with a blade mail as they've done throughout the game, but they literally just ignore the Spectre. They go for everyone else. A bot just doesn't do much on his own. His right clicks are so-and-so. You know, it's not amazing. And he really just relies on dispersion and blade mail. And when you don't hit him, none of those prop.
KP gets scouted out here. It's going to be okay. He's in the mid lane pretty confidently. Gabby's actually got a bottled up DD rune now on the Void, so he's going to be feeling pretty happy for that next team fight. But, I mean, he's got the Eye of Skadi going into an Abyssal Blade up next, so he's looking pretty darn good. Definitely wants that bash up to try and really lock down this Void. He should get spotted pretty soon here up this top lane though. KP and Tims are going to be around the corner, but they probably won't have the damage output to deal with the Spectre. And mid lane, Mel runs into a lot of them, gets the Shadow Blade off with the BKB, still surviving, walking away out of this. The LSA did land, but now Gabby getting swapped in. He'll turn back around. He has the Chrono in 1 second. He'll get rid of the Weaver bug, and now with that Chrono, he might be able to fight with a 3-man Chrono out, and the double damage. Look at the damage being pumped out here. He did not have the BKB, but it won't matter. A Bat now going to try and man fight the Void, but he will time walk away. They will just focus in onto Eris, getting rid of that pesky Weaver. And now they can chase down the Spectre and even, of course, the Ogre. See you later, Grims. He's going to go down. While Armel continues to chase down a Bat. He won't be able to get the Spectre. But it's a pretty successful team fight here from TNC.
Yeah, and they're just repeating what they did. Ignore a bot, hit everyone else, take out the Weaver before he can time-lapse anyone, and now it's falling apart. Cignal's investment in that Weaver Ags not paying off. 10k lead built up now by TNC. 30 minutes in, they get to snipe out these bounties as well, every single one. So they've got 100 gold, 400 gold total from just swinging that way. That's a massive amount of gold for every single member, and that just makes it harder and harder for Cignal to find that opening. They blew Haunt there. They revealed the Scotty, didn't do enough. And they need to find a different way to get this handled. They are going to have the Shivas up on Jamesy, but that's like 2,200 gold away. Way too long, and now you have a break on Armel.
Right, you do. The Silver Edge is going to be quite useful now into the Spectre. It's going to be a bit problematic here. So we do have a 12k net worth lead, and you're starting to really see the problems with this, the way Cignal's trying to play this. I mean, the Spectre's great and all, but it's getting to that point where the Void's just more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really is quite ridiculous, this Void.
And I think we are seeing Gabby finish up his Scotty. Yeah, it's flying out now into the Satanic next. So it's going to be the disassembly play. Whatever regen you had is going to be offset now, and that just makes it easier for Gabby to stand and fight. More stats, more damage, more durability. Cignal Ultra, I think they've got to play around the Haunt. It's up now, but they're not in a very favorable position to really fight at the moment.
Armel just going to focus down that mid-tier 2. Bloodlust is helping a little bit, but they'll be forced to glyph it up, and Armel's not going to back off. I believe he is just going to go back for a bit, try to bait them forward, and eventually just take the tier 2 tower. Now KP going to jump in with the Aether Remnant, but a creep will take it. that should be pretty much all she wrote for that mid lane. Still have the top tier 2 and top tier 1 if they want. But Mel looks like he's about to run into the enemy. Doesn't spot out the Spectre, and Eris has already Sakuchi towards the west of the map. Looks like he should be just fine to get himself out of there.
The one silver lining here for Cignal is their top lane's completely protected. Like, that's actually basically a full HP tier 1 up top. 1,795 HP. So their top lane's intact, which gives them access to Roche, but TNC doesn't care. They're just smoking up, invading the triangle anyway. Cignal's not playing on that side, so they're avoiding the ganks, but they might let this Roche slide through. They need to be aware this is a possibility for TNC.
Yeah, it's going to be a very quick Roshan as well. It's the MKB and the bashes. Of course, you've got Armel right behind you, swinging away. The Weaver is going to get caught out, it looks like. There's the Remnant from the Yule Scepter, and that is going to be a dead Weaver straight off the bat. Sonic Wave is there. It looks like the Aegis was taken by Gabby. He has the Chrono. He's not committing yet. He'll go after Van without the Chrono, but will lose the Aegis. Meanwhile, Van ends up going down to Whitemon. Gabby jumps back in after a bat. He wants the Weaver first though, and he does catch him out in a great chrono. That'll be your Weaver gone. That's a dieback on Eris. A bat, the only one really left here. He can't do much by himself. He does get bashed. He's going to try and juke them out. Arrow is going to give vision at least. James, he's going to try and jump in, but there's the cheese coming out from Gabby. TNC, they have all the answers.
It's tricky now. Cignal put up a good fight. We said he couldn't give away that objective for free. KP diving tier 3s. This is you know what I call this move, Mike? This is the Indonesian play. And KP's doing it.
He is. The tier 4 tower. Gabby. Swap back in. KP doesn't want to be here anymore, but Gabby is going to back him up now, going on to Van. Why is it the Indonesian play, John?
I've watched so many players do that. For some reason, I associate that. I remember when IYD was way back in Boom. I remember that happening there.
Okay. I mean, it's basically a flex, right? Like, I don't need to be worried. You can't do anything against me.
Yeah, basically. Except every time I see that, it's punished. But KP lives. He baits in the kills. They're going to find a set of racks. Cignal, it's been long enough that their Spectre is going to respawn and that they have their Quap up. But I don't see them doing anything different. They're going to lose at least 2 sets of racks. Their top is protected because, again, their tier 1 is basically untouched. But looks like TNC not keen on pushing their luck. Play safe. They've got Satanic on Gabby, though. Maybe they were just waiting out for that. Still, Chrono's about 40 seconds off, and no rush. I mean, it's avoid into late game. There's some scaling for the Spectre, but Chronosphere is Chronosphere.
Mel going to chase down the courier on Jamesy. T1 tower will drop. They have the Chrono in 20 seconds, but looks like they're going to try and start a team fight without the Chrono. They spotted out a bat in that mid lane. They know roughly where he is. Maybe they even just find Eris, and honestly, Eris is a pretty important pick-off if they could get it. No, he'll be able to Sakuchi out instead. Van also TPs away. Everyone seemingly gets out of here for Cignal Ultra. TNC be just fine. They don't really get what they want, though.
Yep, it's a bit of a missed opportunity for them, but I think they're still feeling secure. 22 to 44, 2 times the kills at such a wide scale. That's just ridiculous. Now, there is build-up here for a bot into the Abyssal, but...
Grim's tried for a TP out, gets hit by an arrow, but gets forced off to the low ground. It isn't going to matter. Now KB jumping in. Look at the confidence from the side of TNC as they do go after Van, and they will get him. And it might be about that time, John. Neither support has buyback here. for the next minute or so.
That wasn't too bad.
I suppose you can hold on to the fact that you are going to have one lane of racks, but KP once again going to go straight into the tier 4 towers after the quap. A nice swap out. Never mind, it wasn't even a swap. It was a time lapse, and it just didn't matter.
No, it's a hard defense. They're still holding on. Fortify's out. They didn't actually clear the bot racks, but TNC's just going for blood.
Yeah. They go for the jugular. A bat. That's a very interesting blade mail there. Nobody was hitting him anyway. Gabby has the chrono. He can literally just chrono and hit the throne if he wanted to, but he will go for the fight with KP jumping in. They will haunt. Gabby will pop the BKB and now gets a great chrono off onto 2 heroes. They swap out, or rather time lapse out this the Spectre, but it won't matter. Gabby still going, trying to fight. Sonic Wave is there. Tims, he is silenced up and may just die to the Orchid, and does. But they get Eris in the end. A bat's very low. Armel breaks him. He will Manta. Go back in after the leader. Still trying, but will ultimately die to Gabby. Now Jamesy does at least kill off Armel, but he has to watch as his teammates die. And KP will jump in straight back after him with the simulate stun. And that's it. TNC. Nice 2-0 victory for them to finish off their night, John. Hey, you know what? You've got to give props to Cignal Ultra. Obviously we made it very clear that we didn't like the draft at all, but they made the game a lot closer than we would have expected.
Yeah,
with this draft,
they tried to work it out. That reveal with Eris was pretty nice. You know, the combinations that it did afford was pretty solid. It's just it never really kicked off. They just completely ignored a bot. They always focused on Eris first. Jamesy's impact was also kind of off. Like the Orchid timing was just not right. Armel was ready with the Shadow Blade, kind of just ran away, and it just didn't line up. But really well put out fight from Cignal. There were some shining moments there, not quite enough. TNC though, they did get to pick up the Gabby Faces Void. They got the Enchantress here for Whitemon. They got all their comfort heroes basically, and you know, if you let TNC draft like they want, they do kind of dominate like this.
I agree. With that, John, we do move on to our final series of the night. Well, of course, we are going to have the previous BTS Pro Series winners, Motivate Trust. They're going to be up, and it looks like they are up against Adroit, who have been looking very strong over the past couple days. So, see which one of these teams can pull off the victory over each other. It is going to be roughly a 10-minute break, I believe. And it's MLP Dota and JohnXFire. We'll see you all again very, very soon for that 4th series of the night.